Spiritual Teaching 159. Love each other. 1. Crowds. Your spirit is filled with joy for having had the grace to see the dawn of the new time, that it was announced by the prophets and by your God. Be aware of everything that happens in the world, because it is not only to you to whom I am manifesting. 2. I have come to surprise men in their materialism, so that they realize the time they are living and recognize as divine signs many of the events that they have viewed with indifference, for having attributed them to other causes. 3. In times past, there were times when God's people knew how to spiritually interpret everything passed around them, because they were the people who lived within the law, who loved me, and who made a life simple and virtuous. His heart fibers were still sensitive, as was his spirit. Those people lived in continuous spiritual communication with their Lord. He listened to the humanized voice of his Creator. He knew how to receive messages from the spiritual world, from those beings whom he called angels. And at rest in the night, in the peace of his heart, and through the gift of dreams, he received messages, warnings and prophecies, which he gave credit and obedience. 4. God was not only in his mouth, he was also housed in his heart. The law was not just a writing for them, rather it was lived by men. It was natural that his existence was full of wonders that now you no longer contemplate. 5. Those are the examples worthy of imitation that the people left written with their life, and that now they must be the path and seed for generations that have succeeded them. 6. Understand that, if by their simplicity and elevation those men felt the spiritual close to them, it is natural that materialism and the lack of faith of the men of this time have alienated those manifestations. I tell you, enough of the poor, infertile and miserable life that this humanity lives. That is why I have looked for you, calling to the hearts of those who sleep, giving sight to the blind who fail to see the truth, and touching the hidden fibers of men to make them sensitive to my presence. 7. Do you think it is difficult for this scientific and materialistic world to feel inclined towards spirituality again? I tell you it is not difficult at all, because my power is infinite. Elevation, faith, light, and good are for the spirit a more pressing need than it is for your body eating, drinking, and sleeping. 8. If the gifts, faculties, and attributes of the Spirit have been dormant for a long time, they will awaken before my call and will make spirituality return among men with all its wonders, because now you are more trained to understand them. 9. I must say to the men of this time and of the times to come, do not expect to contemplate the signs or manifestations that the first saw, because you must understand that you are now living in a new age, that you have walked and evolved enough to see, understand, and feel in a way completely different. Therefore, do not ask for external manifestations that only come to impress your senses, to found your belief in them. I have reserved for you in infinite numbers, signs, manifestations, and wonders, which you will see more with your spiritual gaze than with that of flesh. 10. Study and analyze what history tells you, but understand that this is another time, that it is another era that you are living, and that if in your spirit there is greater evolution than in those days, the way in which you are now I am presenting my lessons, it is not the same, even though its meaning is the same because it is eternal. 11. On this day, when you have waited with a prayer for your master, I truly descend into your hearts. Receive me there, people. I receive you in my Father's Spirit. 12. I find peace in your spirit and harmony in your senses. That peace is spread by your being, and that interior preparation invites my spirit to descend into his divine radiation. Have all your powers ready so that you can analyze my teaching. 13. I am not speaking to you at this moment about the bodily senses, but about those of the spirit that have long been in it. but that you have not understood them because you only accept the forms and reject the essence. 14. You are approaching imperishable life, and I say to you, you are still small, because the inclinations of your flesh are not in harmony with your spirit. But I have left you the strength and the courage to overcome your instincts with meditation and prayer. 15. My word delivered through the spokesperson has become increasingly clear, deep and perfect, making the hardened hearts become simple and noble. 16. Who is the one who has not had a Calvary and who has not suffered in life? No one, because you all carry a cross, the imitation of Christ. I contemplate you walking submissive and obedient, without rebelling against natural laws or the elements, and see that you have not broken these laws. I have told you, you are worthy of me. You have come to understand that he is not the sacrifice of the flesh with which you must pay homage to me, and you have understood how to exalt me with the Spirit, thus ceasing to be the heathen. 17. You are living on earth, and you have to use the elements of nature to live. But as everyone knows, find them under a law. Take them within that same law, so you will give to the Spirit what is his, and to your body what corresponds to him. I forbid you nothing, because nothing goes against my divine designs, but take it in moderation. 18. If you know the law of the Father, you will have nothing to fear, because you will know to take what corresponds to you within my law. 19. Comply with my word, because I want to make of you a people of peace and progress, because you are the people I am looking for. You are Israel, in which Levi is found, whom I have refined to serve me at this time. 20. In the first era, the Father anointed Levi so that the servants of divine worship would spring from him and be the interpreters of my inspiration and my law. That is why you see that among the novices I look for my servants, those who have to walk towards other nations to fulfill my mandate. This will happen after 1950, because my work will be universally recognized. 21. Today you are the disciple eager to know, because you recognize that you cannot yet consider yourself teachers, and then you go to hear the word of the one who knows everything. 22. Prepare your spirit, heart, and mind, and you will become the teachers who recreate with your disciples. 23. I receive your prayer in which you ask me to shower grace on you, so that you can understand my word. 24. See that I do not always speak to you in parables. I do so clearly so that you can understand. 25. Feed and strengthen your spirit in my doctrine so that it can evolve. 26. My master's lesson always begins in the same way, because it contains the same love. It starts in love and ends in charity, two words within which all my teaching is enclosed. Those elevated feelings are those that give strength to the spirit to reach the regions of light and truth. 27. See in what way I have been making you understand and fulfill my will. Not as an order, because I, as infinite wisdom, I know that if I inspire you and awaken you to love, the will to obey my law will be born from yourselves. My love enlightens you and sets you free. My charity only points you to the path of perfection where you should walk. The path that I talk so much about is the one that goes beyond the death of the body, because you must always be prepared for that moment of transition. Doesn't your intuition or your conscience tell you that there is something that persists over the flesh and that something is spirit? I have always come to show you that way and to prepare you to pass the crossroads, so that your spirit, when passing from the life of the world to the spiritual valley where eternal life is, do not be surprised, do not be troubled by the infinite. 28. You only have to fulfill your destiny here, and I promise you that for the good fulfillment of your missions and home work, a blissful journey in spiritual life. When this is so, you will no longer be stained in the mud of the evil of this world. Your spirit will not be darkened again by the low passions of the flesh. 29. Truly I tell you that for you to reach complete clarity, your spirit will still have to purify itself a lot in this world and in the spiritual valley. 30. As many times as necessary you will have to return to this planet, and the more you miss the opportunities I grant you, the more you will delay your definitive entrance into true life. The more you will prolong your stay in the valley of tears. 31. Every spirit must demonstrate in each terrestrial existence the advancement and fruits of his evolution, each time taking a firm step forward. 32. Keep in mind that the only good that redounds to your own benefit is that which is done out of true love and charity towards others, the one who, in addition, is done selflessly. 33. When a spirit becomes docile and submissive to the will of his Lord, it is because he trusts in him. He does not rebel to leave the body and return to the hereafter, because he does not fear judgment, nor does he resist returning to earth where dangers await him and temptations, because he knows that from that crucible he will come out more pure. 34. He who overcomes temptations from outside and from himself will be called by others, enlightened and chosen of the Lord. In addition, he will have by his side a spiritual being or angel of light, who will watch over him, and together they will walk in my will. 35. Therefore, do not fear that your eyes will not come to contemplate the fulfillment of these prophecies in this life. I will grant your spirit not only to look, but to reap the fruit that he has sown in times past, whether near or far. 36. The time of controversy is coming in which men will show their intelligence and eloquence, of which they will go to show vanity. My word of the second era will be discussed again, and they will also be discussed of various interpretations that have been given to it. Truly I say to you, from that whirlwind, light will arise, and many veils they will be turned aside, and hypocrisy will be struck down by the truth. 37. It is my divine desire that men reach the unification of ideas and spiritual worship, because I have reserved something for them when this is. 38. Study, assimilate, and live my teachings, so that you have nothing to fear from the sages, scientists, and lawyers. 39. Pray for infinite wisdom to emanate from your mouth. 40. People, are you afraid to come before my presence and meet me as judge? Truly I tell you that I am also a perfect judge, for which you should not fear any injustice on my part. 41. It is enough that you remember the case of the adulterous woman, whom and her judges had sentenced. She was saved by words of Christ, the same one who speaks to you in these moments. 42. I cannot give you a sentence greater than the weight of your faults, for which I tell you, you have nothing to fear from me, but from yourselves. 43. Only I know the seriousness, the magnitude, and the importance of your faults. Men constantly get carried away with appearances, and it is that they fail to penetrate the hearts of their fellow men. I do penetrate their hearts, and I can tell you that men have come before me, accusing themselves of serious faults and full of regret for feeling that they have offended me, and I have found them clean. On the contrary, others have come to tell me who have never hurt anyone, and I know they lie, because, although their hands have not been stained with blood from his brother, the blood of his victims has fallen on his spirit, who have been ordered to take their lives. They are the ones they throw the stone and hide their hand. When in my word I have come to pronounce the words of coward, false, or traitor, their entire being has trembled, and many times they have been absent from the lesson because they have felt a glance upon them who has been judging them. 44. Human justice is imperfect. Your prisons are full of victims, and the gallows have been stained with blood of innocents. How many criminals do I see enjoying freedom and respect in the world, and how many wicked have you raised monuments to venerate his memory? 45. If you could contemplate those beings when already inhabiting the spiritual valley, light has been made in their spirit, instead of foolish and useless tributes, you would send them a prayer to console them in their remorse. 46. I come to establish a kingdom of peace among men, and although this moves some to laugh, I will continue until I show you the strength of love and justice, forces that you do not know because you have made very little use of them. 47. It will not be on rubble or on corpses where I raise this kingdom. It will be on fertile lands, fertile by the experience and paid with pain. There my seed will flourish. There you will see my justice shine. 48. It is up to humanity to regenerate and purify its person, so that it leaves a good inheritance for those who will come later. That, as regards to the spirits that will come to incarnate for those times, I already have them prepared and chosen. 49. Understand your destiny, people. Analyze this word so that you may come to know your mission. I do not want that you try to do more than what is really yours, nor do you do less than what I have entrusted to you, because then your work will not be firm. 50. Some of you in your hearts say to me, Master, why do you sometimes hold us responsible for the peace of mankind, in your words? And I tell you that it will not be you who save the human race at this time, because it is superhuman work. But if you are the beginning of a new way of living, the beginning of a spiritual humanity, and this in principle, it will have to influence the salvation and liberation of peoples and nations. 51. It is necessary that once again I tell you that this people that you are forming around my manifestation is not a people who the Father distinguishes with his love over the other peoples of the earth. If I have set my gaze on him, it is because I have formed it with spirits that have been in the world whenever a new divine revelation has descended. They are spiritual children of that people of Israel, nation of prophets, envoys, seers, and patriarchs. 52. Who better than they could receive me at this time, understand the new form of my manifestation, and testify the fulfillment of my promises? 53. Only I could reveal this to you, because it was written that only the Lamb could open the book of the 7 seals. I am letting you know so that you understand the responsibility that you contract again with the other peoples of the world, before which you must be like a mirror that reflects my law. 54. For this people only one God has existed, and he knows that Christ was the Word through whom the Father spoke to men. Neither Moses, nor Abraham, nor Solomon, nor Elijah, none of the prophets was seen by him as divinity. Instead, how many envoys of the Lord have been deified in other peoples, forgetting or ignoring the true God? 55. When I speak of my people Israel, or the Lord's people, I mean they who have brought a spiritual mission to earth, to those who made my law known, to those who announced me, to those who were faithful to me, to those who proclaimed the existence of the living God, to those who perpetuated the seed of love, and to those who knew how to recognize in the Son the presence and the Word of the Father. Those are the ones that make up the people of God. That's Israel, the strong, the faithful, the wise Israel. That's my legion of soldiers faithful to the law, faithful to the truth. 56. Those who persecuted my prophets, those who lacerated the hearts of my envoys, those who returned the back to the true God to bow down before idols, those who denied me and mocked me and asked for my blood and my life, those, although they were named Israel by race, were not of the chosen people. They were not of the people of the prophets, of the enlightened legion, of the faithful soldiers. Because Israel is a spiritual name that was wrongly taken to dominate a race. 57. You should also note that anyone who aspires to be part of my people can achieve it with his love, his charity, with his zeal and his fidelity in the law. 58. My people do not have specific lands or cities in the world. My people have no race, but are in all races, among all humanity. This portion of men who listen to my word and receive the new revelations, they are only a part of my people. Another part is scattered throughout the earth, and another, the largest, lives in the spiritual valley. 59. That is my people. The one who recognizes me and loves me, the one who obeys me and follows me. 60. In front of the people, 144,000 chosen guides march. Some are in matter and the others in spirit. Behind them walk great legions, both of spirits and of men who try to conquer the light to be worthily called children of the people of Israel. 61. The children of this people always gave evidence of having power over the elements of nature. Their passing through the world left a mark of great wonders that astonished humanity of those times. That power must continue to demonstrate as real to the world, because she speaks of the superiority of the spirit over the flesh. 62. When one of your brothers shows you the power of his sciences, do not fear or be astonished. What greater wonders I have taught you. Nor do you go to misjudge anyone, because each people has sought the truth about spiritual life, according to your ability and belief. 63. I speak to you about everything so that you know everything and nothing surprises you. I give you my teaching so that you do not fall into sciences that you call a cult, into mysticism or into mute and useless contemplation. 64. Spirituality is clarity. It is simplicity. It is worship of love, and it is struggle for reaching the perfection of the Spirit. 65. When this people arises and spreads among humanity teaching with words and deeds, it will be fought by religions, sects and sciences. Some will find a part to attack, other concepts to combat. By then the people will be strong, and faith and knowledge will be a ripe fruit in their hearts. 66. Who of the children of this people will be the ones who carry this seed to the ends of the earth? No one knows, but I do reveal to you that you are the beginning of the sowing at this time. 67. John, the disciple, spoke much to you. His inspirations are light for your path. They are a response to your questions and subject for your study. In his revelation, he saw the spiritual struggle of this time, whose fratricidal wars are only a reflection of the great battle that in spiritual space and in this world is raging. 68. Man is blind to the truth of what is happening, and he needs this revelation to know why all the struggle and chaos that reigns in the world. He also needs to acquire spirituality to have weapons for his defense in the middle of combat. 69. Blessed are those who believe in my word and prepare themselves, for they will be saved. Woe to those who listen indifferently to my admonitions, because they will be surprised by the whirlwind in complete helplessness. 70. The heavens and the earth would pass. Before that my word was not fulfilled. You see, many centuries ago it was announced to you this time, and it came, because he had prophesied it to you. 71. You must pray, multitudes, because prayer will clear the way of those who later rise as sowers. Know that in the instant of your communication with me, my light descends from infinity like dew of grace on those for whom you are praying. 72. Understand your mission so that each one of you may be a worthy son of Israel, the people of God. 73. I am preparing you to imitate those apostles who followed me in the secondary, and who knew with his example, tracing a path of meekness, obedience, and humility. You will be messengers of this good news, and to each step you will listen to the voice of your conscience, which will make you understand if you are leaving a good example along the way with your works. I have to show you the extensive fields where my divine seed will fall, and my charity is preparing and arranging everything. 74. Above all spirit and all flesh I have poured out the light of my spirit, so that all of you feel me and contemplate me, so that the whole world bear witness to my truth. 75. Man is awake, has prepared himself, and has developed his mind, but he has not known the gifts of the Spirit that are essential to perfecting it. 76. Man has taken the wrong path, because these wars that he has promoted are the fruits of his bad science that he has not wanted to purify before the light of his consciousness. When the human mind evolves in tandem with the senses illuminated by the divine light, you will see men discover and create wonders with the science of it, when they are inspired by the love of their fellow man. 77. Only my voice can guide you in the midst of this confusion in which no one knows what is true, nor is able to distinguish good from evil, nor light from darkness. 78. To you who listen to me, I say, your inheritance at this time is the same as in previous times, to carry the light of my message to the nations. 79. Not only my word has come to prepare you, but also the tests that you have been encountering at every step have formed part of my divine lesson. Sometimes you have known how to understand and take advantage of the tests. Other times, you have remained insensitive and deaf to my voice. 80. A being that leaves from your side to take it to dwell in the spiritual valley. Something that it despoils you on earth. A disease that keeps you in bed, purifying you with pain, are tests that wisely come into your life to help you fulfill your destiny, which is to love each other. My peace be with you.